Today we are talking about Ardupilot again, and this is another video in my series of setting up Ardupilot on a Cube Orange based hex, which is my DJI F550. Now if you haven't seen the first video in this series, we're going to walk you guys through setting up a Cube on the 550, take you through all of the steps and talk about the hardware along the way and some of the things you need to be aware of. Now today's video is about GPS. Now this really comes hand in hand with compass as well. However, I'm going to separate this off into two separate videos. So today we are going to concentrate on the GPS, and in the other video, which I will link below, I'll talk about the compass separately. And whilst the overall unit is the same, there are quite a lot of things to discuss on them individually, and that is why I want to separate them into two different videos. Now before I do jump into this, I will just say if you are interested in getting any of this hardware, please do check out 3DXR in the UK. They're one of the main dealers for the Ardupilot and CubePilot systems, and if you are interested, they're a great dealer. They have a huge amount of info, and they're the guys who've been helping me actually make this video and actually allow me to be able to get my hands on some of this equipment, so please do check them out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is types of GPS that are available out there. Now today we are simply looking at the Here series from the Cube, or the Profi and Hex. However, the information pretty much stands across the board. Now there are two main connections for GPS these days. You've got the traditional serial connection, which is what we've used for years, and now you have CAN bus, which allows you to have much more data on a much smaller and more reliable connector. Now if we take a look at the original GPS, and this is an original here, it's using traditional serial connection for the GPS and it's using I2C for the compass. You then also have your built-in safety button and your built-in LEDs as well. Now this setup pretty much doesn't need any configuration. When you plug it into your Autopilot, Ardupilot will detect the GPS and set it up correctly for you. It will detect the compass and set that to the primary, and your safety switch and LEDs will basically just work. When it comes to CAN bus though, things are a little bit different and you do need to do some configuration. And whilst there are steps to improve that, it's not quite 100% there yet, but we will take a look at in this video what you need to do that a little bit now shortly. Now there are some differences that you need to be aware of depending on which one you're going to use. With regards to CAN bus over serial, the benefits of CAN really is a smaller, more reliable connection that allows additional information to be sent from the GPS. If we take the Here 2 for instance, it is an onboard GPS, it still has the onboard compass, but it also has extra sensors as well. It has a built-in IMU and it has a built-in barometer, and the benefit of that is that that information can also be sent over CAN bus to be used by your Autopilot. Now with regards to the Here 2, it is available in both serial, traditional, and CAN bus as well. The GPS unit is the same. There's simply a switch inside that you change the cable, and you can use it on both. So you can change it from one to another should you wish. Now the Here 2 is the one I'm going to be using, and one of the main reasons for that is the nice thing about CAN is it allows simple setup of multiple devices. Instead of using the GPS 1 and GPS 2 ports, which were basically different connections, you now can just use CAN 1 and CAN 2, and it keeps those other ports freed up as valuable serial ports, because your Autopilot traditionally only has serial 1 and 2, but your GPS ports are additional serial ports that you can use for other devices. Now one thing I do want to mention on this with regards to the Here GPS is regarding the safety switch. On the standard one, your safety switch works just fine. However, on the Here 2s, if you transform it over to CAN, you cannot use the safety switch that is on board. There is no support for the safety switch over CAN bus on this unit. Now Ardupilot has recently added support for safety switches over CAN, however these units are not compatible with them. Any future units probably will be. However, if you are going to use the Here 2 on CAN bus, you will need to use that little safety switch cable that I include in the pack with the Cube for instance, if you're going to do it. So what we're going to do next is jump into Mission Planner, take a look at Ardupilot, and we're going to take a look at the configuration needed for the Here 1 with the standard serial connection, and to be honest, basically it sets itself up. And then we're going to take a look at setting up two CAN bus GPSs, and we're also going to talk a little bit about blending and the other options as well, because the benefit of using two GPSs is that you can actually choose some very interesting modes to run them in. Either run them in standard individual GPSs and one will be allocated per EKF, or you can actually run them in blending mode, and I'll talk a bit more about that as we look at it on the software. Okay, so we've connected into Mission Planner, and all I have done is plugged in the serial GPS and compass unit in one. I've done no configuration at all, and already you can see that it is showing up and it is connected, and it's showing the GPS signal. You can see that down here it is showing HDOP, which is 0.87, and it's showing the sat count as well. So from doing a serial GPS point of view, there's no configuration needed. The traditional connector just plugs in and works. Next, we're going to jump and look at CAN, and we're going to set up actually dual CAN GPS and take a look at what they look like as well, and just show you guys the configuration for them and walk you through what you need to do and some of the interesting settings around blending and things like that too. Okay, so now I have switched over to the two CAN bus here 2 GPS units installed. Now, the first thing we're going to need to do is make sure that our CAN buses are actually activated. Now, in later firmware versions, this should happen automatically. However, it is worth doing first. So the first thing we're going to need to do is make sure that the CAN bus drivers are actually turned on. To do this, we're going to go into configuration. We're going to go on the full param list and search for our CAN. So we're going to search for CAN underscore, and this will bring up all of the CAN params for the Autopilot. And the two you're looking for is CAN P1 driver and CAN P2 driver, and these is your CAN 1 port and your CAN 2 port. And what you need to do is make sure that these are enabled. So if we look at CAN underscore P1 underscore driver, that's currently on 0, which is disabled. So we want to set that to number 1. And then we need to set our CAN underscore P2 driver for our CAN 2 port to number 2 for the second driver, and that will then activate the CAN bus ports. Now what we need to do is write those params, and then we're going to need to reboot the Autopilot just to make sure that that actually connection kicks in and then it works properly. Now I'm going to simply do this by Control F and click the reboot option, and that will force a reboot on the Autopilot from here. But alternatively, you could just disconnect the power cable or your USB cable, reboot it, and wait for it to kick back in from there. So now what we're going to do is check again, click connect, wait for the Autopilot to actually reconnect on the params. And then if we check them again, we will see CAN underscore P, it'll actually give us them, and this time you will see that they are both enabled, ready to go. Now the next thing we need to do is make sure that the GPS is set to CAN bus for GPS 1 and GPS 2, because as standard they're set to the serial connection. Now to do this, we need to go into GPS, say underscore, sorry, GPS. We'll wait for that to kick in a second, and here we're actually going to be able to set what the GPSs are doing. Now what we're going to do is scroll down and actually look for the GPS config, and it is GPS underscore type, and it's GPS underscore type 1 and GPS underscore type 2. Now currently you can see GPS underscore type 1 is set to number 1, which is auto, but that won't pick up CAN bus at the moment. So we're going to need to actually set that manually to the CAN bus setting, and that is number 9, UAV CAN. So we need to change that from number 1 to number 9, and we want to set GPS underscore type 2 for our second GPS to number 9 as well, and that will then tell Ardupilot that actually we're using CAN bus based GPS and not standard serial. So again, we're going to write the params on that one, and then we're going to reboot the Autopilot again, and then we should start seeing the GPS appear in the screen over here. Now, I haven't actually rebooted, and you can already see that it is showing a connection on one of the GPS. So actually one of them is picking up. GPS 2 is picking up a signal, but GPS 1 isn't. Now, normally you would, though, want to reboot. So if we actually look down in the area down here, and if we look for GPS, now, something to be aware of on the status, you might not get a good HDOP reading on the GPS with these when you are using them. It is something to be aware of. What you're looking for is your status. So GPS 1 status and GPS 3. So 1 is obviously telling us it's right, the other isn't. So it's interesting. So our canvas 2 is picking up well, but that one isn't. So what we're going to do is move him over to here a little bit and let that, see if that will actually pick up a better signal a little bit away from the autopilot as well. Now, you will notice that I've got no status LEDs working, and the reason for that is you actually have to turn them on in CAN bus as well. So whilst we're waiting on the GPS, we'll go and actually do that. So under that, we actually need to search for NTF_LED. And this gives us the options to set where the LED types are. If we click on this one here, it then gives us the options for external, and we're looking for UAV CAN. We need them on. We click off, and then what will then happen is when we write the params, you will actually then see the LEDs kick in when I actually reboot the autopilot, and it'll actually give us the proper traditional status LEDs as well. So what we'll do now is we'll do that reboot, and then we'll come back and take a look at how they look. So we've rebooted and we've got the LEDs working and we've got our GPSs connected. If we now look at the GPS 1 and 2, you can see that we've got 3D fix on both. Do bear in mind that I have found one GPS does tend to lag the other when it comes to a fix point of view when you've got dual, especially indoors, but you should either have it saying GPS 1 3D fix and GPS 2 no fix, but you shouldn't say no GPS if both are working. Now, the final thing you need to do with regards to dual GPS is decide on how it behaves, and there are a number of options around this. Now, you need to go into config, and you then need to search for GPS underscore, and then if we wait for that to actually search up, you're looking for GPS underscore auto switch, and here you have a few options. You've got it configured as standard to number 1, which is use best GPS. Option 2 is a new feature called blending, which has been around for a little bit of time. And option 3 is to use the second GPS. Now, I don't recommend you use 3 at all. Now, just to explain the differences between 1 and 2, use best tells the system to choose the best GPS, and it assigns that to the current EKF. If there's a problem with that one, it will then switch over to the second GPS. Now, this system tends to work fine until that switch happens, and there is the potential for your aircraft to do some rather undesirable things when that happens, and the reason for that is follows. If you have 2 GPSs and the system is using GPS 1, the aircraft is looking at both, we'll use my fingers for this, and they're both in the same place and everything is happy. The aircraft then, for some reason, starts moving around, and the first GPS which it's using begins to drift, and its actual position starts to drift further from the position it thinks it is. It's telling it is at this position here, but the aircraft is actually over here. Now, if it read GPS 2, it would know it was over here, but because it isn't, it's using GPS 1. Now, the drift will happen to a point, and then eventually the system will go, oh, I'm not happy with that, there's something wrong, switch over to the second GPS. Now, the second GPS says, hold on, I'm not here, I'm actually here. But the aircraft thinks it should be here and knows, well, that's where I thought I was. And it will then, or could potentially then, take off to get back to that position. Because the aircraft's gone, well, I thought I was here all the time and now I'm here. And that's way too far away. I need to be here, and then suddenly jump to it. And this is part of the reason people have had problems, because when you do get this GPS switch, the aircraft can go from being in a position it thought it was to actually being somewhere totally different in reality. And this is where GPS blending comes in. And the idea is, rather than use one or the other, what it then does is take the info from both GPSs, mixes that together, and then sends that out to the controller. But the idea behind this, and we'll take a look at it on the wiki, is that the system is then able to weigh the data up, it puts it through all sorts of filters, and it's able to actually come up with a calculation on which GPS data is right, or if they're both right, or if one starts drifting. And the idea is, if one of the two GPSs starts to drift, it won't do a switch. What it will start doing is saying, well, that data doesn't look right. This looks aligned with everything else. I'm going to stick with this one more than this one. And so much so, eventually it could discount using the other GPS altogether and only use the one. But if this one then starts working again, it will actually pull that data back in and start using it with the first one. And this could be a scenario, for instance, is if you had a loose or a broken mast your GPS was on and it started moving around and things like that. So the idea behind blending is, rather than have this physical switch from one GPS to another, you actually simply blend the data together and then use that blended data to have a more accurate position. But if one of the GPS starts drifting, the system is able to compensate for that and it starts to ignore that data rather than have this hard physical switch. Now that is the basic overview of it. It is a lot more complex than that, but that is the basic setup for the dual GPS. Now I strongly advise you use blending whenever you're using dual GPS. I would not have the switching option. You are far better using both sensors together and then having that data pushed into the autopilot. So to enable that, you simply go under the blending auto switch, change that to setting 2, right the params, and the system is set up. And that is pretty much everything you need to do for dual CAN based GPS. Now if you did want to use one serial, one CAN, you can do that. You would simply set the first one up as normal, the serial one would just work, and then you would just configure the one CAN bus port, the other GPS 2 then just a CAN, leave GPS 1 on the standard setting, and then everything else is exactly the same. Now something I will say with blending is they recommend that you do use identical GPS units just so it knows the data is coming in is the same, and it actually makes the system slightly more reliable. So if you're going to do it with HEREs, make sure you've got two HERE 2s. I'd reckon you could do it with a HERE 1 and HERE 2, but I'd probably recommend doing it with a HERE 2 alone. But that is pretty much all of the settings that you do need for setting up GPS. This series is going to continue to talk about Ardupilot and specifically Ardupilot on the Cube. So if you do like the information that's been provided in this video, please do hit that subscribe button. Please also hit that little bell next to it as well, and make sure you set that to all, and you'll get an update on any more of these videos as I release them. As I mentioned at the start, please do check out 3DXR in the UK. They are a fantastic dealer and they're a massive supporter of the channel, and I'm always very grateful for all the help and support they've given me over the years. So if you are looking for any equipment, please do check them out. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I will do another video again soon.